Good Erev Shabbos. It's Parshas Vayechi, the last Torah portion in the book of Genesis, in the book of Bereshis. In this portion, Yaakov gives blessings to all his sons and to a couple of his grandchildren. One of the sons who gets a blessing, of course, is Yosef. Yosef is blessed with the name Even Yisrael, which means literally the stone of Israel. Stones in the ancient world, and maybe in some places around today too, were the building blocks. In fact, the word stone, Evan, may be related to the word binyan, boneh. The B and the N, the base and the nun, are the key letters of the word. And stones were the building blocks of things. Interestingly enough, if you look at the word Evan and you look at the first half, so it's Av, which means father. If you look at the word Evan and you look at the second half, it's Ben, which means son. So an Evan is sort of a morkav. It's a combination of father-son, Evan, Israel. Yaakov was wishing and blessing that Yosef be the father-son of Israel. Maybe what that means, it's a hint, it's not an explicit translation, but maybe what that means is that Yosef himself was simultaneously kind of a son of Yaakov's, because clearly he was one of Yaakov's 12 sons and the founders of one of the 12 tribes, depending on how you count the tribes. But also it's a possibility that Yosef should be looked at as an Av, a father, as if there were 4 patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, because Joseph's 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, were adopted, so to speak, by Yaakov to be part of the tribes, as if they were his own sons. And they got the status of tribes depending on how the tribes are counted. What I mean is, whenever Levi is counted, Yosef is counted as one Yosef. And whenever Levi is not counted, like for land inheritance, then Yosef is split into 2, because Ephraim and Manasseh each got their own inheritance as a regular tribe. Sometimes the way the names are written on the clothing of the high priest reflect these ideas. But in any case, the point is that Yosef, in one sense, is an Av when Ephraim and Manasseh are tribes, and in another sense, he's a Ben when he himself is counted a tribe. But more than that, Yosef represents the transition generation. He's the embodiment of going from the age of the patriarchs to the age of the tribes. And in a certain sense, he is tribe-like because he's blessed with all the other tribes. But in a certain sense, he's a patriarch-like because no less than about 4 parshas are mostly about him, as if he's a major figure. In fact, when we look at the 7 emanations that we relate to, for instance, on Sukkot, one for each of the nights of Sukkot, it's Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, David, and not necessarily in the order that I said, Yosef. Yosef is with the big guns. In fact, he's referred to as Yosef Tzaddik because of his tremendous righteousness. In any case, perhaps Yosef's best known for the fact that his children are blessed as a present to him and to them, I suppose, that all our children should be like Ephraim and Manasseh, who are the sons of Yosef. In any case, have a good Shabbos. May the building blocks of your parent-child relationships be strong in order to continue what we would call the chain of our tradition through history. Have a good Shabbos.